Coming up on the Rawder Kidula Show.
Who saw who first?
Should we start with the lie or the truth?
Let's start with the truth.
The truth.
Yeah.
The truth, I have the truth.
Go first.
And it's so funny because I made a prayer and I said I wanted a broke guy.
And that led to us cohabiting. We didn't actually agree to cohabit. It started because of that program which ran for some time.
Yeah.
For me, sometimes I feel like I kinda, for a minute there, idolized even like the wedding day.
Wedding, yeah.
When I am working on myself,
Yes.
and when God is working on me. And so submission to me, it looks like this.
That's what God, because God will love us even when He doesn't. We don't even deserve to be loved.
And it's not something new I'm telling him. I feel like as a girl and as a woman, I have experienced Christ's love
Yeah.
through some inhuman form.
Wow.
This is the Rawder Kidula Show.
Hi there and welcome back. This is the Rodah Kidula Show, a space where we have marriage stories and we keep reminding each other that marriage actually works. It's not a scam. It's not perfect. We don't smile every day, but it's working when we work on them. So as I sit here today, I have been married for 6.5 years. Yay! Yeah, I'm almost 7. Hey, I'll write a book. I will. And today we are in this amazing space, Skyrise Business Centre. If you're ever looking for an office space, guys, watch this video. In Nairobi's premier business hub, Westlands, Skyrise Business Centre offers flexible, functional workspaces designed for the ambitious, growing entrepreneur and freelancer. It's more than a workspace with good internet. It's a launchpad where you rise, where you build the future alongside some of Nairobi's driven entrepreneurs and creators. Here, flexibility meets community. Whether you are scaling a startup, running a client-based business, or freelancing as an individual, you'll find a space and teams that works as hard and wants you to win as much, if not more, than you do. I'm excited to partner with Skyrise. If you're ready to take the next step in growing your business, check them out. Call now on 0790-218-888 or visit skyrisebusinesscentre.com. Skyrise Business Centre, a co-working space for all your office needs. Yes, there you have it. So welcome to Skyrise Business Centre here in Westlands, the best office spaces I've ever been to. Well, today I have another amazing couple. I always bring you really good people. And as you can see, they look amazing, right? Waone tu, they look amazing. And what we do here, we introduce each other. So I don't know you. Please introduce this man to us. So who wants to go first?
No, ladies go first.
No.
I'm a gentleman.
You're a gentleman.
Please.
Men before.
Gentleman.
No, I insist.
That I insist. Introduce this gentleman to us, please.
All right. So this is Sam Kagura, my husband of 10 years. He's a father of 2. A 9-year-old and a almost 3-year-old girl. He's an MC, so he hosts events. He's an actor. He's a photographer, a videographer, an actor. Yani he's very, very award-winning actor. He's many things, but I think he likes to introduce himself as a creative because he's very creatively gifted. And together we run studio in CBD. We offer both studio photography and also makeup, together with makeup classes as well. Yeah, but he's many things. He wears many hats, and he's the one I chose to do life with. So yeah, meet Samwavi, by the way.
Samwavi.
Watu wengi wanamjua Samwavi. Siku hizi tu ameanza kujiita Kags.
Samwavi. Who is this lady?
Now, this lady here, this beautiful woman, is my wife. This woman, I got to know her when she was just a girl. And I've seen her morph to become a wog.
Hey.
That's how you call yourselves today.
Oh, yeah.
A woman of God. She is just an amazing woman we met in ministry. And the ministry, I've seen it morph from a stage where she was just trying to find her root to the woman she is right now. She's my wife, the mother of my 2 children. And above that, she's not only my wife, but also my Wi-Fi, because she's connected to everything in my life, my finances, my career, and she's a thief. She stole my heart.
I know.
And I thought that was fine.
It's like cats.
Jemo was almost ending. She's a thief.
She's a thief. She stole my heart, and I thought that was the end of her career. But whenever we go for food, she still steals my food to feel how it tastes. So we share my life together. My life is nothing without her. She's called into ministry. She has an organization called This Is Me, a ministry about women. And because of that, God has called her to start a YouTube podcast called This Is Me, where she speaks to women. And one of her main anchor is that healed women heal other women. So every woman she hosts is a woman who is there to empower other women, and that's her core value as a woman. She's a full-time mother, very present, and a full-time wife to a certain guy called Kags. You see, I had to bring it back to me. Yes.
So she is Viewer Sam.
She's Viewer Sam.
Oh.
And I hope I gave you a good proper introduction.
Oh, yeah.
That will do, babe.
What's her personality like?
Well, her personality, she's a strong choleric.
Oh.
A very strong choleric. I think if there's anything that's successful in my life, is because I have a strong choleric by my side. She's the one who pushes everything to work. I'm a bit laid back in some things. I'm sure she's going to mention my personality. But she's the one who calls the shot. V has nothing to do with we'll do it tomorrow. It's we'll do it right now. Right now.
Wow.
So it's a very good character and a very good balance to my personality.
Do we guess his personality,
Yes,
or
please.
we can all
Guess.
just say in unison?
Drum roll.
Drum roll. 3, 2, 1, go.
A sanguine. He's a sanguine flag. Yeah, which I think it's a beautiful thing, because definitely it brings that balance.
Yeah.
Because at times I can be very goal-oriented and to-do list ticking. And he just reminds me that it's okay to slow down. That I don't have to always worry about doing. So he brings the fun in the marriage and in our relationship. And I love that, because now even our kids also gets to have a balance.
Yeah.
And I also think over the years, kind of our personalities rub into each other. So I kind of now have some bits of sanguineness, because now he's with me every day, and vice versa. Like I can see he has some choleric characteristics.
Sometimes things have to go my way.
Yeah.
On highway.
Who saw who first?
Well,
hiyo inakwanga story, some lies, men. I think men just lie, ndio. Because hata nimewatch
this story. Should not put us asunder. I'm the one who speaks the truth.
Please go first.
Should we start with the lie or the truth?
Let's start with the truth.
The truth.
Yeah.
The truth. I have the truth.
Go first.
So, you know, again, sanguineness. So unajua mimi ni goal oriented, naenda direct to the point.
Yes.
So we met in 2013.
Hapo ni kweli?
2013, we met at, we were going for a school mission at Cohabiting Girls. And so he had his group of friends who are now our friends to date. And I had my group of friends. So I was the organizer. So basically all this was coming from, I was just like 3 years off from high school. So for me, I had this crazy idea because when in high school, you know, when people come for the weekend challenge and they're motivating you. So I wanted to be that.
You wanted to be the motivator?
Yes, to high schoolers.
Where were you then?
I had just finished doing my diploma at MKU.
Okay.
So I also had some time. I was not yet employed at this point. So yeah, so actually I was still in MKU at this point. And so yeah, so I had this big dream again. We get to do what we got to do. So I got my group, and my group had their group.
Yes.
They were friends. So now I had the whole crew. So Sam was actually performing. He also sings, but he hasn't done it in a while. But our son is like bringing that love back because he sings. Yeah, so we went with the group. So when they came, there were like 6 guys. Like, to be honest, I didn't notice Sam. But I noticed him because we were using a matatu going to Cohabiting Girls. So he's like, you know, sanguine again. He was singing some funny songs like from childhood to another. I know you won't get it, but it's like a nursery song. And he was singing it, and that's when I noticed him, and I was just like, anyway, growing up doesn't mean the child in you imetoka. It's a good thing.
The boy in you is still alive.
The boy in you is still alive.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
Let the boy in you shine.
I will rewatch this video after to know that it's a compliment.
There's a boy in every man.
Yes. So for me, that like was, I was like, hey, boy, I hyped with the childhood stuff and all that. So that's one thing I noticed. But on like attraction bit, not really.
Physical attraction.
Yeah. Yeah, nada. Yeah, and we did the mission, we went back, and then the group kind of died, and now we came to meet like almost a year later. And sasa to pause.
Okay, let's pause and go back to which school,
There's so many
are we
lies
going
here we need to
Lord.
to debunk?
we need
And
to
don't lie. You know, Jesus hates liars. The Bible says
I hope
6 things that the Lord hates. 6 things that the Lord says. A lying tongue.
Rodah,
Let us start.
Rodah, I'm from overseas. This story begins.
You had come from
Overseas.
In the overseas.
Where?
South Sudan over
South
rivers.
Sudan.
Over
Oh,
rivers.
South Sudan.
Overseas.
Hakuna si tunaruka hapo ni rivers. So I'm from over rivers.
Yes.
So I come to Kenya. It's a grand one. So ashambiwa na marafiki wake, there's a guy who's coming from the States, I think. From
Maju. Abroad.
So I come, and my guys, I have a clique of friends we work together with from Limuru. Limuru is going to pop up somewhere again in this conversation. Remind me if it's forgotten. Okay. So we come. When I come back, they're like, hey, but then there's this lady who is doing an event where we go to school missions.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, for me, I not come to stay. I only come for a certain reason, a home issue. Then I go back. Yeah. So I come, and then they're like, okay, let's go, because me and one of my other friend, called Sir Alex, we used to MC together. So he says we can actually MC because a number of these guys in the team are musicians. Yeah. And it so happens that we have mutual friends, me and her. Yeah. So she knows a number of musicians and friends, and some of those friends know my friends. Yes. So those friends said we can invite another team of guys who can help us host this thing. Yes. So that's how we get invited, and we went to Cohabiting Girls. But the first impression of this lady, first of all, I did not notice her. juu kusema
You wish.
notice. So hata mimi sita
You wish.
What I noticed, the only thing I noticed is that there's somebody being lifted by other men up. So kwani kuna mtu anasimama hapa.
Why were you being lifted?
Muulize. Na not in players. Unajua kuna kuinuliwa kwa
Physical
maombi.
lifting.
Si ati anainuliwa na maombi.
Lifting hivyo. You know how people hug you and they just like lift
I
you. Like I
know.
was like a girl. I was just a girl.
Even you hugged and they were lifted. Did you
My
agree?
body, I was really
You were
tiny.
tiny, exactly.
So I remember in campus, there's a time I used to tell people don't lift me because every man just
It's
felt
like automatic.
Yeah.
So tiny people are lifted.
Yeah.
Why am I not lifted?
And beautiful people as well. He noticed my beauty, by the way.
They're also lifted by huge, really huge men.
And these guys were tall.
In
Yeah.
conversation, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this. As you can see,
They're very
Clearly they have
just
teamed
pick
up.
me like a baby.
They've had the
Am I being
conversations.
lifted now? Am I
Mmekuwa na
being...
WhatsApp
Okay.
group, we agree anything I say is wrong.
You noticed a girl being
No, I
lifted.
notice a girl being lifted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who ni nani? Kwani, what is up?
Yeah.
And so I'm told this is our boss. This is the one who's taking us to Komothai.
Yeah.
So we decide to go to Komothai and
Yeah.
we go. Mimi unajua mimi sina kitu. I'm not there to impress anybody.
Yeah.
I'm there to have a good time and then nirudi Maju.
Maju, South Sudan.
South Sudan.
Yeah.
So me, I'm in the car, I'm having fun with my guys, you know, we're just singing some old songs, you know,
Yeah.
Sungura amelala na jicho, we're just remember, you know,
Moja wazi.
waze ukumbuka.
Uh-huh.
And then sa CEO alikuwa uko mbele na dereva.
Uh-huh.
For once, at least hapo hawezi inuliwa. So
Yes.
uko mbele. My first impression was, to be very honest, I thought I didn't think of her as, I just thought I'd seen ladies who they are liked by so many jamas.
Yes,
so
men.
So I'm like maybe she's a type mwenye utapatana like na majamaa wengi.
Yeah.
They all want to be with her.
Yes.
So personally I've never been that competitive.
You
in
don't
terms
want
of-
that competition.
Yeah, I have never put myself in a place where I find every guy wants to go to one girl, and I want to join that caravan. So for me, I was like, I don't think that's my kind of thing. So and I also don't think that's my kind of lady.
Oh.
So in my mind, that is what I thought.
Uh-huh.
So we go to Komothai girls,
Yes.
and I see her leaders, and she was there. She did amazing. At least alitu guide kidogo.
Yeah.
Huko aliinuliwa tu kidogo huko pia.
Yeah.
Then unashindwa si aliinuliwa tena. Mbona anashinda kiinuliwa?
She's being lifted by men. Let me be the translator.
Yes.
Eh?
So we get in and we had an amazing one.
Uh-huh.
We had an amazing one. Of course, I emceed the event, and that was that. We didn't keep tabs for how long?
A year.
An year.
Uh-huh.
Pick it up from an year.
A year later.
So that's it. Oh, a year later.
Yeah, when you meet again.
Oh, also let me mention that time I was dating.
Oh.
Yes.
Even you were dating. Na unainuliwa. And you're being lifted.
Why is that thing
By
such
other
an issue
men.
with
Okay,
you?
it's okay.
Is she being lifted now?
That's my problem now. Are you being lifted?
Am I being lifted? Because 10 years bado
I
una
lift her in
heart.
prayers.
In prayer.
Bado una heart 10 years after.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I think after a year,
Yeah.
so like the group just didn't, we didn't go for any other missions.
Yeah.
Then after a year, I like my relationship had ended at that time.
Uh-huh.
And then I was feeling like I was like a lot was not working. Unajua ile season like nothing is working.
Uh-huh.
So for me, again, it's like God, like nikaanza kusema, is it because I disobeyed? I'm very keen on those things. Like I want to please God and I want to do the right thing. So for me, I think I thought like, ama it's because now I didn't even follow through with the vision God had given me. And so at that point, I tried bringing back the group together. And that's how now, again, we found ourselves in the same WhatsApp group. And so for me, I'm a very emotional girl. I think girls are, like unajua zile draft, long draft.
Yes.
Now telling them, maybe this is what God wanted to do with this. Now it didn't, like I just like ranted there in the group. And so who DMs? Kags,
yeah.
But before
Samoa
I
V.
DM, she had made a meeting where after Komothai you had made a meeting and said we come plan on where next, what's the next future, and she came up with a group name. That day, we were like, this is a group.
Yeah.
So she came to Limuru that time. Limuru, tukiwapo tukamit mahali Bata, and our experience, me and her at Bata, was not very pleasant because I came with my jacket.
Yeah.
And as you know, right now, is that I have sinus. That's why I keep blowing my nose. So Limuru is very cold.
Yeah.
I had my jacket put on the side. She picks my jacket and wears it, and I'm like, what? It's okay if you're being lifted, but why are you lifting my jacket again? So she uses my jacket and wears it.
Yeah.
And I get mad and I'm like, I want my jacket, it's cold. My friends are like,
be a gentleman.
Be a gentleman. I'm like, no, but now I'm blocking. My nose is blocking and I need my jacket. She gets the message and she decides I'm not going to give her the jacket, I think. Maybe she can clarify on that, but she didn't even bother about it. I was given the jacket by a friend later on when we were escorting her.
Yeah.
So for me, I knew we were never...
Yeah, never.
We would never have been together. We would never have been together. So this situation that she's talking about is now way after, because the group after that meeting, nothing happened. So actually, I think it's because of the jacket. The group died. So she's coming back again here. and
At least I got details. Yeah. Some things I forget. Yeah, but I think now after... Now the group, now he DMs and says, hey, hi, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen your messages. And so, like, unajua nika console. Like, he's consoling me. Oh, it's okay, blah, blah. And then now I'm like, who is this? And then he said Sam. And then now just one message led to the other, the other. And then we just went for a date.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it became.
You went for a date, friends,
like physical, but as friends. After like now talking, like there was the opening of heart. So at this point, also there was so I couldn't remember him. Like the face. So he sent me some of his photos, and then I also sent
a jacket.
Oh Lord, and I also sent him now some of my photos. Now because he was into graphics, he started making me to like my photos and as he design.
A graphic designer is
amazing.
So it was,
but it's because me had sent one photo. Then her, just one photo, just reminding her.
It wasn't one.
Then after that, I just put my phone down. I'm like, bundles as meisha. My messages if it's loading.
I'm not gonna even fight for myself.
Don't even fight.
I decided to make her something. I thought she wants to be a photo book or something.
So he was making those two photos, and then after like maybe a week or two, we decided to meet, but just as friends. And once we met, like for me, okay, just for context, the relationship I was before, there was a lot of like control in terms of the guys making more money. I was just from campus. I didn't have even a job. And then I had just started like a business that also failed. So I used to feel like, hey, this person sees me like a property kind of thing. And so for me, I think at this point, actually, and it's so funny because I made a prayer and I said I wanted a broke guy. And I know, I even to date, I have to keep telling God now bless my husband. I don't want to broke.
Imagine we are going to write, I prayed for a broke guy.
Okay, at least it's not that way now.
Yeah, at least.
I won't even ask if you are okay with the caption. I prayed for a broke guy. And then when we look at the guy.
Look at me now. I look taller.
He can lift me.
The wallet,
he can lift me up.
Wallet.
But for me, I think at that point, I never wanted a man to ever make me feel like a property. Like you can own me, you can control my dreams and my vision. And so at that point, I just like wanted someone, as long as you have a vision and we can grow together, that's what I was looking for.
The guy you're
and so
for.
From the first date, some couldn't even pay for our dates.
I can explain.
Food?
No, I don't want to wait. She's still talking.
You see now, this is how I am suffering. And so
you paid for the first date.
I paid for the first date. And for me, it was exciting. because also I knew men to be very proud.
Yeah.
And the fact that he opened up, which later I came to learn he had tried texting some of his friends, but hawakutuma kakitu.
Change your friends.
But I feel like for me, that's the openness I needed to feel like you can actually trust me with finances, like hauna.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that was very attractive at that point. And also how some like would speak to me even from that date. I just saw something different.
Okay.
Despite
now you can explain.
Now you can explain.
You know, I don't want men to think that I went to a date unprepared. I had prepared. In fact, I went earlier. A hotel called Smothers, market.
Smoothers.
So I went there.
Where? I can see.
Ilikuwa pale Odeon.
Ilikuwa Odeon, Basaiko,
I know it.
Moi Avenue.
I used to go there to take uji.
Mimi nikampeleka ngine inaitwa Jack City kwa hapo watu kuna chipo wamesimama.
Yeah.
But nikafeel sipo.
Yes.
So nikadecide in a place tunaweza keti. I went a bit earlier. I went and saw their menu. Their menu is 70 bob chipo. And I knew I have 200 bob.
Yeah.
So if we eat 70 bob, 140 na niko na fare kunipeleka Limuru.
Yeah, 60 bob
I have
back home.
enough transport to take me back to Limuru.
Yeah.
So I go to Smothers, and what I did is I hyped their fries. I was like, ooh, girl, do you love fries? If you love fries, you will love Smothers fries. They are so good. You're going to love them.
Yes.
So we get there. She doesn't ask for fries.
Oh.
She starts
with pumpkin soup.
No, actually, she asked for very basic food. But it's not the menu is not matching up with now what I'm looking at. I think she asked for
ginger tea,
samosa.
Yeah.
And I was like, cheap. Then I went to the menu. I looked. This is like I have to take water now because the amount here is not. I've already made my order, so
yes.
My chips came because I had made sure I order fast so that she copies.
Yeah.
She didn't follow my script.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we have the meeting, and then later she's like, "Oh, your nose is blocked.
Yeah.
I need to order some maybe
some dawa."
I'm like, no. I mean, who are you ordering dawa? So I say no. Then I go to the washroom. Not to visit it, but to make calls. To get to know, hey bro,
Buddha.
do you have something you can throw on my MPESA? Nothing is happening. So I come back, dawa is brought. And I knew now this is danger zone. Now I can't even handle
that
the
is
bill.
past 300 bob. You know, I'm thinking
Dawa alone is my whole money.
200.
200.
Yeah, there's
The
ginger tea and samosa and chips.
And chips. Now I can't do anything. Now, after I saw everything now is hitting the wall, I had to come out.
Yeah. Tell her.
I thought you would eat chips. I've decided to go overboard. To say the truth, just give me time. If you can pay this bill, I will pay later. She's like, no, I'm going to handle. But something interesting happens in the meeting. We talk, and we're talking about... We really talked a lot about relationship. And during the meeting, we say, in the very end, we are like, wow, I think we are very good people.
Yeah.
I hope we find our persons.
Yeah.
And then we say, maybe it's somebody we actually know. Maybe somebody we've actually met. You're like, yeah. And that's it.
And the rest is history, basically.
No, that is why we are here, for the history.
Oh, Lord.
We are here for the history. Now I want to know when the relationship, it became now an official dating relationship or courtship. Yeah.
I think for me, I remember, and it's very also special. Some hata kama hakuwa anajua, because I don't think he like pre-planned. But some before even he asked me to be his girlfriend, he took me home.
To his place?
To visit. So for me, he used to live in their compound. Remember, alikuwa ametoka overseas.
Yeah.
And so he never went back because this is
It's
a
funny
near.
to say South Sudan is
It's overseas. No, he likes it that way.
Abroad.
So abroad.
Diaspora.
Oh Lord, so alikuwa ametoka South. Oh, he had come from, for your viewers. He had
Yes.
come from South Sudan.
Yes.
And so he never went back. And so
Yeah.
that's why a year later we connect. And so he used to live in their compound. You know how
With
they
his
have
parents.
a house outside the
Oh,
main,
yeah.
and then now there's the main house. So he invites me over just to hang out with his family. His family is amazing. Like his parents are lovely, and they had never had Sam with a girl.
Oh.
Because my husband has no dating history. He has no dating history. But for me, I think that spoke to me. And also the way his family just like embraced me. And they were just like, he has never brought a girl. I think that's a thing every
Yeah,
girl
that's a
wants to
thing.
hear, especially from your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
It was just nice. So when I went to their place, I ended up sleeping over. We had really some good time with the family, and I just kind of knew. And then after, now he even his mom passed on. So his mom now is a stepmom, but his mom passed on when he was 10. So like my mom in love now, she's the one who has raised him. But because now his mother is buried in the same shamba where they have built, he even took me to her grave, and he asked me now after. Like for me, it was just like intentional. Like I think I love. Like intentionality.
Yes.
Like I didn't feel like an option or just like a thing. I don't know. I can't explain how it made me feel, but I felt like he was intentional. And then after, he asked me to be his girlfriend officially.
And you said yes.
And I said yes. It was 1st of July 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hata mimi nimejua sahi.
Yeah.
Oh, why did you ask her to be your girlfriend?
I think by that time we had really had a good time. Let me just say the same incident that made her know it's me is the same incident that made me know it's her. The fact that, to be very honest, I don't think any man watching this can agree that if you cannot handle a woman's bill, the first thing you're thinking is she's never gonna call you.
Yes.
But remember that time, it's like now our relationship got into steroids, our friendship. She was, how are you doing? And she really got very intentional in getting to know me, and for that reason I couldn't I kept falling in love with this woman, and I could see things beyond what I wasn't seeing when I was in Komothai. Now I'm like, she's actually a very beautiful woman, not just outward, because yes, as much as I'm joking, I could tell she's a beautiful woman, even from the word go at Komothai.
Yeah.
Just that I never thought she would be my woman.
Yeah.
So at this particular point, I'm like, she's not just a beautiful woman, but is a beautiful woman worth to be introduced to my family as a potential.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long did it last before you got married?
You're sure you're ready?
I'm very ready.
You're now ready for the journey.
Now this is where the story begins.
Oh Lord.
You've been taken home, and I don't know, like, for men, sometimes some men think asking a woman to be your girlfriend, you need a chopper, you need to take them to what restaurant, how much money. Imagine how simple that was.
It was on a garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's behind a house.
Yeah.
Our story is different in terms of
marriage.
Yes, because this now how we started our relationship is a core reason why we do what we do today.
Yeah.
And even the ministries God is calling us into.
Yeah.
So for us, we didn't. We dated as boyfriend girlfriend. And then by then I was on TV. I was being in I was in a program called My Shabure as an actor, and it used to be it was being shot at Islands, and by then V is living in Rongere.
Yeah, you know it.
Let me find
before
Rongere.
Kikuyu.
I know.
Yes.
I was finding.
You're trying to find Rongere. So I would leave shoots very late sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't go back to Limuru.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking for somewhere closer because there are so many, fines that if you're late, you're fined.
Oh.
So
Late
what-
for the shoot.
It's late for the shoot to get fined. So what would happen is I would look for a place to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have a girlfriend
In Rungiri.
in Hungary. Let's go. And that led to us cohabiting. We didn't actually agree to cohabit. It started because of that program which ran for some time.
Yeah.
That we started noticing that we actually
Living together.
living together.
Yeah. And okay, for me, now I can look back and appreciate our journey.
Yeah.
But at that point, I wouldn't say, okay, first we were young because I was only 21.
21.
Yeah.
You're already living alone.
Yes. I started living alone when I was 19. Yep. So I'm 21. This time I have a full-time employment. So I'm earning my money. For me, I always knew I wanted to be a mom early. But I also knew I wanted to do a wedding.
Yes.
Like for me, wedding, and people will hear from this story how crazy of an obsession. I think now looking back, it's like almost an obsession, and I don't know why. But I think like just a part of me as a girl, I really just wanted to put on a gown and dress up. I love to dress up today, and so that was one of the goals. But now, again, if we are living together, which I wouldn't recommend, and especially for a couple who want to live in purity, like I wouldn't recommend. But again, one thing leads to another. You find you're sleeping around here, there.
Yeah.
And then
Not around with him.
Okay, with him.
Around is many people.
Oh God! They're around the house.
It was around the house.
Oh Lord. So this is 2014, and now we date for like a year, all the way to 2015, and then I get pregnant.
Oh.
Yes. And so we get pregnant with our amazing son. I couldn't trade anything for that boy. He's amazing.
You're running. You've realized you're pregnant. What is his reaction?
Oh Lord. Okay. So I realized I'm pregnant. So I was very scared. I won't even like I was very scared. And actually I wasn't scared because of Sam and I was scared because of my mother.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, hey,
She will kill
now
me.
my mom will just feel like I let her down.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I think it's how we were raised. Whenever we mess up, because nobody wants to, it's not even guaranteed, because what if we said that's not my child?
Oh, yeah.
You get, like, I think God wanting us to get children in the wedlock, it's also to protect that child, to protect yourself as a mom, so that you're not left with a child to raise alone. And also purity, because like God is holy, so he has called us to be holy, and sex, it's for marriage. And right now I have learned so much about purity. Even I wonder, like, what was I doing with my life? Because it wasn't, I can't lie at it was because, now it's because of God. No. My shock was not because what will God think. It was what will my mother think.
Oh yeah.
And my father. And so to date, I keep saying, even if I would go back 10 years from now and do the same thing, I wouldn't be doing it to please God. I would still be doing it not to disappoint my parents. And I think that's a very bad mentality. You get?
Because this generation, they're not scared of this new generation. They're not scared of pregnancy. They know how not to get pregnant very well.
So you can still be having sex around. But right now, even as a married person, I really, every day it's like I have to carry my cross on purity. Like there are things I won't listen to. There are things I won't, because now I understand it's not unto man. It's actually unto God, and he it's a requirement. It's a command that he expects us to live holy. But that time it wasn't at oh God, I'm so sorry. Yes, there was those prayers, because I think even every time we would have sex, there is a time even I packed everything as and I told him you have to go back, because we cannot continue living in
like
sin.
this,
You get? And I remember he would go, and then 2 days, I have missed you, just come
back.
Actually, this is the funny thing. And let me take it along with my reaction to it. For me, I had a different way to look at it. First of all, even for context, is the fact that maybe it was not the first time
Yeah.
I'm having a lady and we're indulging into sex. So first you're looking at it as fun.
Oh,
Because you're
yeah.
young. And I know I'm saying this because we don't know who is this young guy who's watching this channel.
Yes.
But we were looking at it as a fun thing to do. Like we are together and feelings are there. And it's true, you're human. These things are going to happen. You can't cohabit with a lady and say that it's not going to happen. And it's true. I'll tell you for a fact, the fact that we were all born again.
Yeah.
Let me say born again because we go to church.
Yeah.
We knew it is bad what we are doing, and that's why there's that conviction.
Yeah.
There's that conviction of feeling, we shouldn't be doing this. We tried, and that's why I would discourage anybody watching this. Please, if you're cohabiting, today make a decision and say no.
Yeah.
We are gonna live separate lives, especially if you see a future.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see a future, no cohabiting should happen.
Yeah.
So for us, what would happen? We'd even put rules after we've engaged.
Yeah.
We feel guilty.
Uh-huh.
There are times we've even prayed. We are like, "Leba sheta yande, leba zika bayande." We are not gonna
But
do this
you're
again.
still together.
2 hours later, hey,
Yeah.
you keep falling again. We try sleeping on the sofa. I sleep on the bed. Okay, vice versa. That is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. So me, when this happens, let me just tag it along. When I'm told we are pregnant, we fear as the parents.
Yeah.
I fear the church.
Oh.
So we have very different views.
The church is more scary than parents.
I know.
The church is more scary than parents. Because I was looking at all my life I've grown up in church.
Yeah.
This is a sin that is usually very private. Nobody wants to admit.
Yes.
And the church does not want to talk about it. So we know it's happening, but we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We know people are living together, but we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? And Giuliani, there's a time Giuliani said something like, when you're faithful, haumanga mangi, ama hauna do zalojo. So I like how he says it. Is it that you're faithful?
Yeah.
Or is it that you can't afford
You don't have the
managing?
opportunity.
Is it an opportunity that you're not getting? So these things are actually happening. So for me, pregnancy meant your sin has been billboarded.
Exposed.
Now it's on a billboard.
Yes.
So I was like, oh no. Oh, this one is different.
Let
now.
me take you, but didn't you think of protection? You guys are just in love.
For me, I will say I was very naive.
Oh.
You know, nowadays, information is everywhere.
Yes.
For me, I grew up in Shags, like in Longonot. I've just been in
Longonot
Nairobi
is
for
Shags.
3 years. 3 years in Nairobi. For me, I don't feel like I was very exposed. Because even that time in school, it wasn't like topics that are spoken. I feel like even in Nairobi, even in the slums, they're more aware than kids even in Shags.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of info. And so for me, I don't know. Rodah, I know it sounds very ignorant.
I feel I sound so bad asking Christians why they didn't use protection, and yet they are not even supposed to be using anything.
Yeah.
So as he said, if you're watching this, don't.
And
Right.
I think it's something we have learned now over the years. And I hope that for our children we'll do better, even informing them. Because I also feel like for us, we were taught to just fear sex, but we were not explained what sex is. Kwanza, I don't want to see you with a boy. Like, I shouldn't see you standing even with I'm like, hey, Kwani, what is
You know,
this?
me,
so
at some
bad with
point I
boys?
thought if a boy hugs me, I'll be pregnant.
Nobody is explaining.
No, it's explaining. They're just
No,
telling
I
you
don't
with
want
a
to
boy's
see you
band.
with a boy.
Yeah. So
And us boys on the other end, so us boys on the other end, you're being told, no, sinilete mimba. So in a way, even I don't even know how mimba is brought.
Yeah.
Mimba means pregnancy.
Pregnancy,
Don't be a pregnant girl here. But I'm like, what happens? Okay, how does even one get a lady pregnant?
Yeah.
So there's even some curiosity around that topic.
Yes.
And it's so true as we're saying that we were naive. We were naive.
Yeah.
I think this was like my real relationship I ever had. So this is somebody actually you're with them every day because again there's a cohabiting.
Yes.
So there's also a chance of when the Bible says that do not give the devil a foothold.
Yeah.
Because once you give them a foothold, he takes a whole acre. So what happens is we decided to give the enemy that chance of saying, just this bit. I'm just gonna be sleeping on the sofa.
So far.
How far is too
How
far?
far is too far?
Can we
Can we
kiss?
kiss? Can we do that?
We'll just hug,
how long is a hug?
cuddle, and sleep. Nothing will happen.
It's not a side
Lord have
hug.
mercy.
It's just a peck. So what would happen, just to get real on this,
Yeah.
is it will reach a point. Even if you think, you who's watching this and saying, me, I'm not like them.
Yeah.
Me, I'm knowledgeable. Me, I know how to avoid it.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you, the devil is scheming.
Yep.
He's always
Yes.
scheming something. I mean, how many times have you had people who are trying to avoid it with P2s and all that? And then, it happens.
Yes.
Yes?
Uh-huh.
So, for us, what happened is, you start now, you may have rules, but sometimes you know there is protection, so that you really do not know there's protection. There's adverts.
Yeah.
But there's also that shame of going to buy.
Oh.
You know that shame of going to buy, For me, that would be, I knew protection is good,
Yeah.
but being a church guy and being a very shy guy with
Yeah.
some things, and this is a secret thing I'd feel.
Uh-huh.
I'm 24, I didn't even have beard by then. So I'm like, how do you go and buy that thing?
How?
I'm like, instead of buying, we can have other ways that we can try to avoid it, you know.
No,
Is
that one
you'd rather even
doesn't
buy the
work.
P2 because it's going to be put on a paper.
Uh-huh.
And then this one, which is a very big box, and then just so many questions of which specific one do you want. So there's that bit of sometimes that fear of I don't want to buy it, and then that
Yes.
ignorance of I think we can manage
We
this.
can manage,
I think
yeah.
this should be the way it should be. So that is what happened, and
Okay.
we ended up not following even the worldly
Yes,
way of protection.
ways. Yeah. We were fearing the church. You are now on a big
So I
boy.
feared the church so much,
Yeah.
and I knew, first of all my friends are church goers.
Yeah.
All my life have been in church. In fact, until today, if you take my phone, if you search pastor,
Yeah.
you just pastor. So I'm like, there's so many people who know me as a church guy, and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be bad.
Yes.
And by that time, the good thing I wasn't serving by then in any church. When you are going to a certain church, so the first thing I'm thinking is, how do we go about it? I did not. When she told me she's pregnant,
Yeah.
I was shocked, but I couldn't show it. So I just told her.
wonder why people have sex then get shocked.
I think it's because you're not like
You think,
meditating like like I want a child or whatever,
Yeah.
and then like in that time you're not even thinking straight, and then now later that's when it hits you like
Yes.
but I think also to applaud some,
Yeah.
because for me when I realized I was pregnant and I was so scared of telling my parents, and now like just like friends and all that, like I actually even entertained the thoughts of like terminating.
Yeah.
Like it was a thing I actually like entertained, and when he knew I was entertaining, he told his dad.
And it was.
He
and
told
it's
his
gone
dad.
now. I've said.
There's nothing. Now he's there. We raised the
They're
child,
waiting.
and when he told
the
'cause for
dad
me-
about the termination thought.
no,
or that you're
like
pregnant?
we're pregnant.
Oh.
He called his dad. He had just done Man Enough. So they had a place where they had spoken with the dad, and so he was also calling as an accountability. Like I know what we spoke about through Man Enough program. I know, and it was also not like from this is good news. It was just like he knew. Because again, when it's a secret, the enemy just unajua hiyo unamanga when you expose it, then he has no he can't hold it against you. He can't bring those thoughts. And so for me, I feel like even without knowing, that's how God helped us expose that this is what was happening. And the dad was cool. They planned to go to my place. His father is like Sam is blessed with like amazing parents who I don't think even with his father, like you would have a problem sharing some things. It's just that maybe that time as a young person, you don't think like they will understand you.
Yes.
But he was disappointed. He told me.
Yeah.
He told me when I gave him the news, he first looked at the situation we were in as a family. just for context, my family, a number of them just got married in that manner. In that manner of cohabiting. That's why I'm against cohabiting, because I've seen it very common in my setup of family. So it wasn't a new one, but he felt I wasn't ready. You know how you tell, I don't think this boy is ready. So you told me, how ready are you for this?
Yes.
I told him I don't know. Had you planned it? No. He looked down, I could tell. It was louder than the words would say, I'm disappointed. But he said, we'll figure this out together. That was the best news ever. Knowing that I'm with him, and I knew even if the church goes, I'm okay. And even actually, before even we continue, let me talk about my friends who are born again, and they're my clique, and I didn't know how to break it to them. So I called one of them, who's like the one I was emceeing with, called Alex. I decided, Alex, since we are together with him all through the film industry, I called him to the side and I told him, there's something I want to tell you, and this thing I'm telling you, I'm ready for the outcome. And I'm ready for how you treat me. And if you guys don't want me in your clique of friends, I'm okay. I'm ready actually to step away. You guys can continue as born again guys. And I tell him, and he's like, hey bro, congratulations. I'm like, what? Really? Congratulations. But I see where it came from. He didn't want me to feel condemned. Because had he approached it from what were you thinking? He started with, wow, that's good news, congratulations. Then he said, however, not the way we would have wanted. It's not what because we as friends used to share desires of how we would walk down the aisle, all of us. So the same dreams she had, I still had them. So he says congratulations and tells me, do not worry, I don't think any of us would leave. Would you leave me if this happened? I tell him no.
Wow. So because I also feel it's good to mention, yes, there were disappointment from some people, and also some people maybe left. And the people who left were never meant to stay, and the people who stayed were meant to stay and do this with you. But I feel like even God sent us people, and for me, and nisianza kulia hapa, me mercies of God. Like, yani, God is so merciful that even in your mess, like, he still embraces you. And for us, it was even through people, even through men of God. I remember, like, Pastor Dan. So by that time, they were working with he was doing some of their graphics.
Pastor Dan, JCC Islands.
JCC Islands. And he told Sam, now, because now Sam is the one, now for me at this point, I'm just a girl. Please don't tell me to explain things to people. This is your business. Take over and bring healing to our relationship. And so, like, now he told us even there's Psalm 2. Was it Psalm 5?
Psalms 51. Psalms 51. The one David goes to the cave after he's slept with Bathsheba, I think, and he goes to pray. It's a repentance prayer. And so he told us, like, repent. Right now, just focus on you and God, like making it right between you and God, you know, because then if we feel condemned by God, we feel condemned by people, and God, you know, he doesn't condemn us. If anything, he wants to embrace us and just help us through even our mess. But at that point, it was just hard to, like, there's just shame that comes with this whole thing of pregnancy out of wedlock, that I don't know what it is, but there's just that shame. But for me, I would say, like, even in that mess, God was still faithful, because he sent us men who loved us, who embraced us, and even our own parents, even my mom. I remember I didn't go home until I was like 7 months pregnant.
Did they know?
So what happened, some parents, they sent people at home to go and say that we are pregnant. Now in Kikuyu, they say your goat was broken a leg.
And they do not look for your goat. It is in our house.
Yes. And so...
Wait, you moved to the house?
Yes. Now, what happens traditionally, I had to... Because now, you see, we were living at my place. So a man cannot say they are settling at a lady's place. So we had to funga our virago and go to Sam's place now in Limuru, which now for us it was just like for officiating to parents. Because also that time when you're pregnant, Kikuyus, they don't do the whole Rorasho things. You have to deliver the baby and all that. And so we went to Limuru. We gave ourselves 2 months, Sam to figure out his stuff and then move us out, because also I was working in Westland, so it was quite a distance, and plus I'm pregnant now. But also, like, I think in this season of my life, I discovered like strength I didn't know I had, because everyone now thinks you're a child. I was 23 at this point, so everyone is like, oh God, you're so small, you're so young. Right now I don't think 23 is that young, because if we did a wedding and then I was pregnant, I don't think anyone would care. Like, it's just like, it's a surprise pregnancy. And so especially my big sister, like, she was feeling like, oh, is she gonna be able to be a mom and all that. But I also think I discovered like a strength I didn't have by that time, because I knew nobody's coming. Nobody can come carry this pregnancy. Nobody can come deliver for me. So it kind of just like grew me very fast to like, now you're about to be a mother. You need to figure it out. And I wouldn't say I struggled. My pregnancy was easy. And also now God just used Sam also. He was very supportive. He moved us after like 2 months, which also was like a bit, because now our parents didn't want us to move out, but we had to stand firm and be like, we need to start. You're still children. Family. For me, I was like, we have to just be out and figure it out on our own. And so we moved out when I was like maybe 6 months pregnant, and now we started life.
That's how you got married.
That's how we got married.
That's how we knew the rubber is meeting the road now. Because now the first one is cohabiting.
It's for fun.
It's for fun. And you know now the danger about that is not every story, and that's why I'm like so anti-it. Not every story will end up with people like sitting on this seat.
Oh yes.
Some could be sitting on another seat explaining how the father is never present and the mother is never present. And so there's a very thin line between where we are and where the failure of that relationship could go, and a child being in the mix of all this.
True.
So for us, that's how we got into it.
That's how we found ourselves.
Yourselves married.
There's this clip.
So how is marriage?
Now there's this clip that used to be there when I remember it when TikTok started. It used to be like a song where music is played and then a lady or any person is thrown in the center to dance abruptly, and then the song is there, so you just have to flow with it. That's how I look at our marriage. So
you were pushed into
it
floor.
And you are like, okay, we are here,
let's dance.
How do you husband? Is that how you wife? Is that how you father? Is that how you mother? Is that how you put a home together? No mentors. I didn't have any mentor as a man. Neither did she have any mentor as a woman. And so we are just two guys. I'm 26, she's 23, and unlike right now I have guys who are 26 and I find they are friends with me. And I'm able to guide them through. Then we did have friends who were married. So we are like, where are we? In fact, the church that we were to go to, where we used to go, we were kind of sidelined because of that issue.
I feel bad because I feel like I would be the person who would sideline you.
For real?
I don't know, like, I'm feeling like I'm talking as the church. We are thinking these two people. Now they go pregnant, they have decided they are married.
And now they want
sympathy.
Now, how do they even serve?
But we were not serving.
You're not serving.
I think there is... and especially in the church. And I'm not saying let's endorse sin and all that. But I think we are called to love. Like that's the bare minimum. And also, Christ is our model. Would Christ throw people out?
No.
Genuinely speaking.
Even the question.
So if he's the model, if we are looking to be like Christ, I'm not saying endorse. I'm not saying advertise that it's okay, we will embrace you. But call out with love. Not like at now ignoring the people.
Should not even
and I think the church has
And-
grown
and you
because
know the
kitambo
church
there
is
was
you and
bad
I.
even ile mnasimamishwa mbele ya kanisa
Oh, yeah.
mnaannouncewa.
That still happens.
Okay,
in
as
some
we
churches.
didn't go through that, but it wasn't still beautiful. But I don't even want to dwell in that.
Yeah.
For me, I just feel we should be like Christ. Like,
Love.
what would Christ do? You love the people in their mess.
Yeah.
Because anyway, like they're already going through their consequences.
Yes.
Like I think it's this thing. I was listening to a sermon Josie called "The Power of Petty Prayers," and she said, when someone is already down, they're hurting you to say even because that was the whole agenda.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do back to them to hurt them more than they have already hurt themselves.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not your work now I'm already down. Like, where else can I go? To me, it doesn't make sense.
Bottom already.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't make sense. But, okay, for me, I wasn't that attached because it wasn't, again, I had joined Sam in his church. Yeah, so, but it still doesn't hurt less to know that you can be sidelined by the same people who should be embracing
you and loving you.
And I think there's the church today, if there's any church that hasn't adopted this,
Yeah.
then I think they're missing out on something. Our very big mission is not to stay in a church where everybody is born again. It's not to be in a church where everybody speaks in tongues and they're living a certain life. I think it is very important for churches to know that in their congregation, there are people who are going through things that are different from how the church would want.
Yes.
So, this church, particularly, I think the fact that we got into marriage in a way that they did not appreciate or approve,
Yeah.
they did not embrace it to us. We could tell there is a certain distance that has just suddenly appeared, and it was hurting because, in a nutshell, I spoke to the pastor. So it's good that audience know that I spoke to the pastor. The pastor promised to work with us.
Yeah.
But when I called back, he didn't work with us. He, in fact, aired my issue.
Oh.
So we felt some church hurt.
Yeah.
And we did not know who to go. We have no mentors, and we do not have a
community.
A community, because the only pastor we know who we've only opened up to is that pastor who is very far from where we live.
Yeah.
And we live in Beden Kino. So how we got into marriage, very naive with a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
And a
so
baby.
and a baby.
Who doesn't care about your baggage?
Whether you have baggage, you just figure it out.
Yeah.
I have a gift for your teen daughter. Sorry to interrupt the conversation. My name is Rawder Kidula, and I present to you this book for my beautiful teen girl. It's a gift challenging the teen girl to have godly values. It talks about many issues that they go through and inspires them to be better teens. See details on the screen of how you can get it. Thank you.
For me, looking back, everything we have gone through, like I know even what the enemy meant for evil, God has already turned it for our good.
Yeah.
And I see that and I appreciate that so much. But I think one thing that really has held us together is our friendship.
Yeah.
Like Sam is my best friend. Like this guy, I can tell the ugliest of things, and I also know the ugliest of things from his, like there's no secrets between us basically, even from our past lives. And so that also helps because then we can talk things through. But it wasn't easy because now you're figuring motherhood, wifehood. And now
How are you doing as a wife?
now and then I'm still corporate babe at this point.
Oh.
Okay, so I got my child, and I think when I was like 2 months, 2 weeks in, the company I was working for closed down. My boss there referred me to another company where I went for an interview, and they picked me, and so I had to leave my baby when he was barely 3 months. But Sam was there. At this time, he was a work from home dad. So also that helps because I knew even if a nanny comes, like the child is not like alone.
But it wasn't a lot of time with Darren.
Yes, you did.
We'd go to clinics because sometimes now she would take us because she's feeling guilty.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, I can ask for 2 hours. At least you go to Kikuyu Hospital for clinic. Then I leave you guys there. And sometimes when she can't, now I'm like, babe, don't worry. I got this. You go to work. So in most cases in kwashina na mtoi nimembeba na ile career, we go to the clinic and come back and we ball a lot. We have so many videos of our first baby together.
Yeah, that helped. That having like a supportive spouse, like that definitely helped a lot. So what I would want to mention is it's not like we didn't think of, because again at this point also, okay, things got a bit heated and rough, and for a moment there it felt like we wouldn't survive. Because
with
the marriage now. Because it was just a lot and we didn't even know our personalities. Those are not things I knew me at 23.
There was no PMCC.
Yeah, so it was getting a lot. And I remember Daryl was barely one. A couple friend of ours, they recommended, they had done Ndoa at Mavuno Church, and they recommended you guys do Ndoa. Maybe it will help you just like even with problem solving and all that. And so again, I feel like God orchestrated every stage of our lives. We had like a year to just figure things out, to raise this amazing boy we have now. And then now God took us now to Mavuno for the Ndoa. And Ndoa changed everything. For me, Ndoa changed everything, because one of the struggles we had mostly was I didn't understand why Sam does the things he does. He didn't understand why I do the things I do. And there was, again, a lot of baggage even from now our lives before now this. And now we got to this without preparation. And so there was a lot of conflict and a lot of things that felt like, hey, this one cannot be solved. And so Ndoa just like opened our mind, because I think what sometimes even couples lack is understanding. You see, when you understand personality, it's like, oh, so si ati anajifanya, si ati ataki to take up some tasks. It's just like that's their personality. And now with that understanding, you're able to know now how do you push yourself to do even things that don't come easily to you, so that your spouse is not like overwhelmed and frustrated, and vice versa. So for me, a choleric, I'm very dominating, and I want you get like to do list, so it can be overwhelming for some, because then it can seem like there's nothing he does that is ever enough, because I'm always on to the next. So umemaliza, you are feeling like, oh my God, I'm like, next. You get. And so now we just kind of learned how to live in harmony in terms of, yes, I'm a choleric, but it doesn't call for not understanding, and vice versa as well. So Ndoa really helped us.
Ndoa is a marriage class.
Yes. It's a marriage. It's a 3-month course. So you go. You are with other couples. Mavuno, they understand that there are couples who didn't get to do marriage, and they are living together. And so for couples who have been together for more than 6 months, they're told they're already married. They're already married. So they also have a program for such people, and so that's where we found ourselves joining. But of course, with other couples who are also married. So it is also a good one, because you're also learning with the people who are already in the institute. So it's not like, oh, ati sasa uko na watu wana prepare for marriage, and then you're not figuring anything in yours. Like I felt like it was very accommodative, and we had a lot to learn. And also that's why we met Pastor Emmanuel Gashanja, and now he also has his own organization called iVow. So where he also offers the same program for couples who don't want to do it maybe from a church perspective, they want a private session. He also offers the same. So I would highly recommend. And that was a gift to us, because now Pasi has walked with us since 2017.
Wow.
When we had Dome, hey, this guy, I'm leaving. If you don't come now.
Did you ever leave?
No.
Did you ever leave?
Some, by the way, some is very... No, as for me now, my mind, the way it is. So I'm like, hey, even this was not God plan. You get, when there's a kadome, you're just like, hey, this was... But for some is the sober one in a, like, we're going to stay, we're going to figure things out. He kept on telling me, babe, you cannot have one leg out and one inside. You have to decide. You have to choose. So I think, like sometimes I didn't see it as leadership at that point. But now as a mature woman, like I see how intentional Sam was. like even whether he knew it or not, like I can see his leadership characteristics all along our journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think for me, my Mavuno experience was very eye-opening in the fact that we started finding other couples. And so we started seeing the things that we are fighting about as a couple, as a young couple, is actually, because again, for context, we do not know any other couple apart from our parents who are not there to expose their lives.
Yes.
So we are learning it from, so even you guys deal with this. You fight over this. Even us, we fight over this. So we are able to see so much. And also, why I would suggest people to do a program like that. I know there are so many other programs, and there's no end of learning programs. We keep going. Even on Valentine's, we went to another one, and we learned a new other topic about sex. So and we took notes, a lot of notes, which we've been practicing. It's been amazing.
Oh Lord.
So
no comment.
That's strange.
People watching this are married. So
It's okay.
So where was I? So the interesting thing about doing a certain doing PMCC is you may be hearing something from your spouse, but you think they are your enemy.
Oh yeah.
So they may be telling you something like, you do not do this, or I think you should do this, but you see them as an enemy, and maybe for your own superiority complex, you feel, who are you to tell me? But when you hear it from a higher authority, it sounds different now. So I think for us, it really helped cement our relationship that way, and even getting to us now doing life after, it was easier. And now we have a pastor to walk with us. Now we have a pastor who is like, if we have something now, unlike before where we didn't have anybody to go to, we had two things to go to. We had now we had three. Now we had God, and then we had now the authority is given us, which is a pastor now, and now we have also a manual to go back to that we've learned. So shout out to Pastor Simon Mureithi, I think. Is it?
Pastor S.
Yes, Pastor S, for such an amazing book that he has for us.
Hey. Yeah, so I feel, because even,
how do we, I'm still on babies, how do we not get pregnant again?
At that point.
But I'm thinking you've moved in together.
Let's say that experience, you cannot not now want to know how to.
Now you know how to
now you know how to Google.
But also hospital, it helps, because once you're pregnant, now you have a doctor, you have a gyna taking you through, even after you deliver, they give you the options of family planning. So at this point, I also feel that's also a thing. And like before, where you have never gotten pregnant, it's not something you are thinking about. So that helped. That solved that.
Oh, thank you.
But also there was something, because even our child, our second child and the other child, they are way apart.
How many years difference?
Is it 8?
8.
7.
7, 8 years. So also the fact that we're also getting our life together, we were like, we can't add another baby. We can't add another baby. We are still trying to financially be right. But then I had left film because I noticed film wasn't actually gonna raise my child. So sad the film industry right now is when it's trying to get shape around it, but by then it wasn't. I would be, you're famous but you do not have money to pay clinic. So you'd go to hospital and they're like, I know you are in this show, and then you're there almost like wondering where you're gonna get money for diapers. So we knew that it wasn't the right time for us to get another baby.
And for me also, I think I really wanted to first have a wedding, because that dream didn't die because I got pregnant. I'm very strong-willed. Like I'll tell the father, God, like, yes, I missed, but I still want this. And I also remember now after Ndoa 2017, we planned for our wedding and our Rodah and all that. But we didn't know it was going to be another shock, which we might not go very much in details, but traditions has been a very big hindrance. Even
we are
in
not
our,
from the same community.
We are from the same community.
I thought it's easier for people.
Let me tell you the contrast. The contrast is you can be from the same community but different family, should I call it ethics or traditions. So what would happen? They are Kikuyu, I'm Kikuyu.
Yes.
But there's this thing. They are Kikuyu. They are Christian Kikuyus. And we are Kikuyu Christians.
Traditional.
So Kikuyu comes first. Then Christian comes first. So they are Kikuyu. They are Christian Kikuyus.
Yes.
As we are Kikuyu Christians, that already brings a very big contrast in how we handle things.
Yeah.
So them, they are not big on culture. They are big on. They're not very big on culture. On our side, on the contrary, my family is very big on culture. They are like, this has to happen this way. We need to slaughter. We need to do this. And now on our end, we had some of those ceremonies that were needed to be done that were derailing us for so long. I know we don't. It's a big story. So just for context, let me just say, my mom wasn't given dowry. And so we are told for me to pay dowry to her, some things need to be sorted that were done halfway. My dad had done it halfway, and then it had led to some curses that led to people dying. So I don't want you to go through that process, because culturally we have to give a sacrifice, so that once we slaughter a goat as a sacrifice, a goat with no blemish, then it's going to open up for you a door to go and pay. So it was so
just
much.
a lot. And a lot that we were not also willing to be a partaker and part of. Because one thing that God really helped us to know, that it's also, our marriage was to break some generational curses. And in as much as we found ourselves in a pattern, like we knew it has to end with us. Like no matter what it took, we knew our children wouldn't have to go through what we had gone through. And so since then, 2017, imagine you have planned your wedding. We had bridal team. We were already meeting. We had venue. We had everything.
You are the makeup artist.
That time I was not even doing makeup.
I wasn't even doing photography.
All those things have come later. And also at that point, I have told my parents, like, this day, Kena Sam's family, they're coming. And then I'm cancelled almost last minute. And told, now this information that Sam has shared, that they can't proceed. And so that's begun a journey of hurt. Because again, I think at that point you have, for me, sometimes I feel like I kind of, for a minute there, idolized even like the wedding day. I can admit that now. Back then, I didn't see it as idolizing. I just felt like, I just desire this thing.
A wedding.
Yeah, but it really broke us, because we had seen, now it's just a year. The baby is now a year. Like, we're just going to do these things. We had just done Doha. We had like those deep conversations, because that program opens you up to like speak about, those hidden things that you think I'll never share with anyone. Like, it really helped us to just go through those. And so I was feeling like we're at a good place. Like, this is actually the right time. And then boom, it can't happen. And now it was like years of trying, like feeling like Sam is not doing enough to convince his parents, and them saying, now Sam telling me there's nothing I can do. Like, there's nothing I can. And it was just a very, and for me, I feel like God used that stage as well to stop idolizing this thing and to focus on us. Where I was like, we cannot change our parents and their tradition, because I also knew my dad wouldn't tell us, just come, you get, and then we can just fake ourselves. It doesn't make sense. And again, now looking back, I was also frustrated, because I wanted this for my parents. More than I wanted my marriage to like work and flourish. For me, it was like, I need to honor my father. Like, because I really am a daddy's girl. I love my dad. Like, I always felt like this is the one thing that I can get to do. And in as much as I frustrated them by getting pregnant, like, I have time to redeem myself. And now this redemption is not coming. And we struggled with that a bit until now one point, God was also working on us. We got to a level where we were like, it's got us. And we just have to work on our relationship working. And we have had so many other challenges, but I think tradition stops one of the major challenges. So
the wedding happened.
The wedding happened eventually, but it didn't happen at that point where we wanted it to happen. But it happened. You can see, guys. I had my dream wedding, by the way. Through the tears, I remember crying so much walking down the aisle. And for me, also now over the years, there were so many prophecies that your marriage will break generational curses. I didn't know how. Sometimes I used to ask God, are we supposed to pray more so that generational curses are broken? What are these generational curses? Like I had not done a whole study on the generational patterns and curses. And I knew of this one where from the mom, but I didn't know it was across, because looking back, even my own family, even my own sisters, nobody has done a white wedding. It's always a baby, then either you get together or you get married later. And for us, now I see what God was doing. And even that day, I remember walking down the aisle, because also we found a church, by the way, Ukoma 2018. We found a very good church. We go to City Lighters Church in CBD. And Rev George. And Pastor George is a father. God gives you double for your trouble, for sure. Because Pasi has really worked with us. By the way,
I really love that. I was even watching him this morning. I was watching him in sermon this morning.
And he's a man focused on Christ. Because life will always have its own happenings, but you don't write people off just because someone made a mistake. And Pasi has taught us that. He leads so well, and he's that example. But the focus is Christ, and he truly directs us to Christ.
And actually, him and Pastor Emmanuel, were the champions of us. You know how you're saying, when you've gotten to marriage in a certain way, how the church will not stand with you. We go to church, to City Lighters, and we are like, he's like, you guys have done Doha, we've spoken, and he's like, I want you to start Doha here. We are like, we haven't even done our own wedding.
We don't know what to tell people.
It's like, no, you have something to
say.
But he respected our decision. He told him, let's first do a wedding. And he championed for the wedding together with Pastor Emmanuel. The other day, Pastor Emmanuel came to my studio and he saw my ring, and he said, when I see that ring, I remember how much I've prayed for that ring to be on my finger. And it feels good when you have men, men of God who are, and by men I mean all round, who are standing with you, even in those moments that you're not feeling like anybody should stand with you.
And also people who see, because at times when you're, oh God.
It's okay.
It's funny that he's telling a story of 10 years in like an hour.
I know. But who said we have an hour? We can do this the whole day.
No. For me, I think what humbles me, because I also know these people were sent by God. It's not by chance, it's God. Seeing how God was intentional to bring even people who see you. You know, when you're in your mess, you don't see how. When someone says you will break generational curse, you're like, but I'm in this mess, how?
How?
Like, you don't see the how, you don't see the vision. And God placing men and women who sees that future that God has in store for you, and who actually prays and seeing it come to pass. To me, that's like the best blessing. And God has surrounded us with amazing people who they don't see us for our conditions and the things that we have been through and the messes that we made. They see us as wholesome, loved people of God that God wants to use. And our wedding was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I remember, for me, at this point also, God had really spoken so much. And I even remember the lady who made my gown saying, you know, every step you're going to be taking down the aisle, it will be one generation cast down.
Wow.
And I remember, I knew I wouldn't cry, because I mean, I have waited for this day. What am I crying about? I have cried all my tears. I would have cried for all these years. And I remember when walking, I couldn't even help. And it was a groan from my belly. It wasn't a normal pretty cry. For me, I knew, and I could see my sisters, and I was just like, you guys don't even know in the spirit realm what is happening. And I saw, like, I could see how God used our story, and in as much as there was pain, there was uncertainties, this was restoration.
Amen.
And our children being there, and me like declaring for them they won't have to go through what we have gone through. like it was just beautiful.
Wow.
It was just beautiful, and to date I'm very thankful. And I'm now not thankful just for the day. I'm thankful because of the symbol, how that day symbolizes freedom, not just for us but even for the generations now and the generations to come. And yeah, manze, and at times it's just
I like the way Sam is looking at you.
you know, it's just because at times you feel like me, I can't be used.
Yeah.
Like, what is there to use? Like, when people would say those things, I'm just like, do you know who you're talking about? Do you know the struggles we have had to go through in marriage? Do you know the things we have had to, like, sit through and be like, we're not gonna give up on this, you know? And now seeing that prophecy come to pass. This God is a good God.
Someone might ask, you've been together, maybe they've been together for 10 years.
Yeah.
They also got pregnant, decided to start life, and then they're thinking, we just go to the AG, get a marriage certificate. Why do a white wedding? We're already living together for all those years. What's the importance?
Well, before we answer that, let's give props to this event planner because she planned that wedding for how many days? A month or two?
Oh, she did.
A month. She'd planned the deco. She talked to the deco guys. Me, I was just handling to know certain service providers. She handled everything, and we had a small guest list.
It was a small wedding.
It was a very small wedding.
Yeah, finally, people who planned a small wedding.
But imagine, I had years of planning in my head. So this was just actualizing. So
many people say what a small wedding, then the family comes.
No, first.
So finally, people who planned a small wedding and it
happened.
How many people?
60 guests.
60.
Yeah, 60 packs.
Wow.
Yeah.
60 packs. I remember somebody who said, one waiter was saying, I think I served 63. We were,
It's 60.
60. I know everybody. Everybody got a photo from us from that particular day.
Yeah.
So let me fast forward a bit so that I address this. We learned something later that maybe V is gonna also add point to it, because I wasn't anticipating that question, but now I'm thinking as I go. Is that the Lord honors
the law,
the
government,
but He also honors spiritual covering.
Yes.
And He understands, and He also honors your agreement
as a couple.
So those three things are very crucial when it comes to a solid officiating of that thing. And that's why wherever you go, even whether it's AG or you do it in church, you'll have things that you'll be asked to tell the other.
Oh, yes.
And that is the word I do.
Yes.
So that shows it doesn't matter if you do it on AG and there's no I do, then there's no marriage.
Yeah.
If you do it in an aisle and there's no I do, then there's no marriage. So the Lord honors those three.
Yeah.
So I'd say, if you're able to make sure that the three are happening, leave the congregation, leave your relatives. That's why even for us, we are like, we don't want anything to stop us.
Yeah.
Because the Lord honors the confines of marriage. He created it, and He has a law that happens the same way there's a law of gravity that says if this cup falls, it's gonna fall down. There's a law that can only happen when it comes to marriage. You heard her say that there are certain things that had to be broken when we do a marriage. So if you look at it, for us, what we did is the reason why we didn't first go to AG, and we had another way of going to AG, but Pastor Reverend George told us one thing and made a lot of sense. He said, "Now, I wouldn't want you guys to go through the AG as a Christian. So hear this if you're a Christian. It was very solid for us. He told us the problem of you going to the AG and doing the vows for you is the AG says the words. Your job is just to say I do. That's what he told us. We haven't been there. So he told us the AG is just going to tell you, do you accept
in sickness and in health and
I do. So you see, there's something about you saying them.
Saying the words.
There's something about V telling you. There's something about Sam telling V. The words. And that's why even in church you're told to repeat I, Sam, take you V, So he says those are part of the vows. It can't be that the AG is doing 99% of the vows. Your job is just to say I do. And so he said another reason is why he wouldn't advocate you not involving the church is the problem with the AG, he has no connection with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's no covering.
There's no covering.
After when you come divorce, where do I sign?
Where do I sign?
You're divorcing. Okay. And there's a huge queue. He's like, sign. There's somebody else is waiting. So he said, you going through the church, there's something. Yes. Because now as a church, they're able to stand with you. Right now, if I go and tell Pastor George, I'm thinking we call it off.
Yeah.
He'll be like, Come.
Where is V?
Where's V? Come, let's talk. Let's talk. There's nowhere, and I'll give you time to tell me whether there's a time where AG has a meeting with the couple to try to salvage the marriage. There's nothing. Yeah. So he told us it is good that we involve the church. There are so many methods of doing it, but that's why I said I think by the end of it all, make sure that the three are happening. For us, we chose to do our vows not at the AG, but to make sure that we are the ones saying the words to each other. So we opted for a small event. So sometimes people think it has to be a flamboyant event, chopper and all that. For us, it was very simple. As you had 60 guests, it could be even a dinner.
It could be even your best couple and your pastor. You just come sign, send witnesses to another. Ama, for me, even for people who want to do AG, I would say I'd rather than also waiting. You get it forever. I'm waiting hadio when the wedding happens, when you have the funds for it. So I think because one of also the blessings that God has blessed us as a couple now is Ernest Wamboya and Turi. They have been working with us, and one thing Ernest says, God don't, because even in the church can just pray to you guys, and now you're married, hakuna wedding certificate. You still need the AG because that's how the officiating, that's how it happens, and that's even spiritually, that's what gives you the legal ground that like these people, they are like married. So I think even if you're not able to, I would say just do the AG. Right now, when I look back, I would maybe I think why I know maybe why we had to go through our process the way we did. But if I was in a different setup, or if now this V knew the V at 23, I would do AG like maybe even immediately, even before baby came, because now that would cover the baby to be born in the nini of in the wedlock. You get. So I don't think AG is bad. But Ivo Samam explained, there's a covering that comes with the church. And I know also of couples who have just gotten to the AG, taken their certificate, came to their pastor, signed it with them with their witnesses. So you get that covering as well. But even if you do it at the AG, maybe get a blessing from your pastor, or just get a community from church who you can be accountable to, because we all need accountability partners. But from our journey, God has blessed us with, like, I just feel like if it didn't go this way, maybe we wouldn't even be blessed with the people that we have been blessed with. And so now looking back, I am able to be grateful to God, but I wouldn't lie that when I was going through it, I was ever thankful. I wasn't always like thankful, but now, like, I see what God was doing, and even what the enemy had meant for evil, God has turned it for our good.
Wow. Parenting. Talk to a new dad. Someone is just celebrating that they are going to be dads in a month. What is awaiting them?
Parenting. Take this time, Dad. Please sleep. Take this time. Whenever you are idle, just sleep. Just sleep.
Before baby comes.
Just sleep, even when you sleep and you feel, just sleep. Also start maybe practicing to use both hands as much as you can. Because you will start now getting to learn to use one hand. You know, you'll be typing with one hand and the other hand is somewhere here. You'll be drinking food with one hand. So that is what is awaiting you. Another thing awaiting you is you will possibly be waking up at night to help with the baby.
Yeah.
Babies are not the same. As we are blessed to have very good babies who do not wake us up, they are not alarms. But both have never been alarms for us. But you never know. Your child could be an alarm that you don't know. So I know a friend of mine who has a child who operates in USA time. Yeah. And you're in Kenya. So the child, when it's at night, that's their day. And the other time. So I'll say this. As a parent, as a father who is there, just know that you have a very big responsibility over the generation that now is coming up. It's a child, a boy or a girl. The best gift they would have is to have a father. And the model that you shape as a father to that child is not just going to be a model that creates a relationship between you as a father to that child, but the relationship they're going to have with God the Father with them. Because if you are not representing the right figure of a father, then they will not be able to connect with the Father. So if there's any advice I would give you as a father, as a new father, is just to know that the biggest responsibility is not when the child is that small baby, but it's a lifetime responsibility of making sure that you stand and represent God in the best way. And it's all round, because the Bible says that we should love our wives as Christ loves the church. So every time we do not represent ourselves as a good husband, we are showing a misrepresentation of Christ. And when you don't show the right representation of a father to your child, you are misrepresenting the father.
Wow.
2 cents.
Well said.
My wise man.
Yeah, you have a wise man. So what makes a healthy marriage? Now in 10 years, now we are talking to people who are looking forward to get married. They're excited about the wedding. What would you say or advise a lady? This is how you keep your marriage healthy.
So I don't think there's a 1 to 10 pointers. Number 6 will shock you.
Number 5.
It's number 5. Number 5 will shock you. I think even as you're preparing for marriage, first cultivate on your relationship with God. Because a marriage will try you. There's nothing that will try you like your marriage. This person, one, there's no one in this world has tried me like this one. And also, there's no one in this world has shown me both my strengths and my weaknesses like this guy over here. And so if I don't have a strong relationship with God, then it gets very hard to do the hard things, because marriage works, but it's work. And you have to work on yours. So I think in Doha we were taught about a triangle. So triangle has 3 corners. So God is always at the top, and then this is V, this is Sam. And so if we are all directing we are cautious and intentional with our relationship with God, then we are climbing and coming closer to each other.
Oh, yes.
And so for me, God, and more of God. And then now as a couple, work on your communication. I think communication is a very huge part of marriages working. Even on those little things that seems like, sasa hii, mi nitanyamaza tu, atajijazia. No, speak your mind. Don't be silenced. Like for me, I think that's one thing that we do. I don't know, if we didn't have conversations, I don't know, asiku haezi isha. Even sometimes I'm like, babe, I need to sleep. We really talk about serious things, non-serious things.
Yes.
Make your spouse your friend. Talk, communicate. And then I also feel, find a community of people who can call your spouse out.
Yeah.
For us, I think we have struggled even with things like purity in our marriage. And it's because we didn't have people that we are submitted under.
Yeah.
So, hauna mtu wa kucall out, what Sam you're doing, that's not good. But now God has raised men and women who speak to us. So if you're able to, from this time you're preparing, start finding your people. Not your people as a woman and your people as a man. People who can actually sit with my husband in my presence and call him out and we are comfortable with that.
Yeah.
It's okay to retain your girls, please do, but also know that some people will leave, and those who leave, they were never meant to stay, and those who stay, they are meant to do life with you. But cultivate on those relationships that are good for both of you. Then take care of yourself. As a wife, one thing I even asked my Sam, like, have I ever not taken care of myself? Like, because I can't remember. Like, I feel like even as a mom, as a wife, I function well when I have first taken care of V first.
Oh, yeah.
So prioritize yourself, because that way you're able to serve your family better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the list continues, but if you have God, then Holy Spirit will be your helper, and then He will continually pinpoint those things that you need to work. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk to the man, husband to be.
Husband to be.
Yes.
Ooh, husband to be, you have a lot of work to do. You had that talk about purity.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, because I believe in showing my scars, and my scars are going to help somebody out there. The ministry God is calling me into is a ministry of boys.
Oh, nice.
And I'm being called to the ministry of boys because I realize in our very first years of our marriage, I was a terrible husband to V because of some baggage that I didn't work on. As a husband to be, don't wait until you get a girl, a beautiful daughter of God, pure in the heart. And maybe this also goes for the girls.
Yeah.
For you to start dealing with the undealt issues in your life. Start dealing with them now, even as you prepare. Do not wait. But there's some habits, some habits. I thought purity is gonna change when I got to marriage.
Yeah.
Whatever habits that you carry through when you're single, in your singlehood, what it does is just it elevates with you. You just go. If you go to the next step, it just goes with you. Maybe on even bigger steroids.
Yeah.
So I'd say as a husband, and I know maybe there are so many things I would say, but let me just mention about this topic that nobody else wants to talk about. Clean up your life. Clean up your life. If there's therapy you need to go to it. If you need to speak to men, don't wait until when your marriage is on the rocks. So many marriages, Rhoda, would be saved if people had talks with people like Ernest Oboye.
Oh, yeah.
Who I am a protege of him working with me. So I'd say so many people also would get so much help if they went and saw a therapist. I know a lot of Christians are anti-therapists, but if you take your time and work on yourself, work on those dark moments, at time you go to that closet and remove those skeletons and deal with them, those things that you've hidden under the carpet, deal with them, because if you don't deal with them, you're just going to spread them to your wife.
Yeah.
And it will be so bad, you woman going to therapy because of something that you should have dealt with it earlier. So otherwise, as I said earlier there, I mentioned it, you carry the vision of Christ as a husband. So if you fail, you're misrepresenting Christ, because you need to love them as He loves the church.
Yeah. Wow. We're supposed to end there. Like that would be a perfect place to end. But I need to know how submission is easy for this choleric.
Well.
And he told us to remind him about Limuru.
You already
We
said
are talking about the
jacket.
mood and the jacket.
Oh, the jacket.
Yeah. So submission. Let me say this. We have been married 10 years now.
Yes.
I wouldn't say also I was a very good wife. And I think it's because I didn't have women who were submitted to look up to. And I don't think you can do marriage hivi peke yako, like in your own wisdom, it's not possible. You have to be submitted under other women who have gone ahead, who are godly as well. Not every woman. See, the women who tell you, oh, me, mwanaume can't tell me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because if he's yielded to Holy Spirit, then I can trust his guiding, because he's getting direct from the Father.
Yes.
So I think that's one step. Because now for us, you see where we are starting our marriage. We don't have any accountability partners.
Yes.
We don't have anyone we are looking up to. And now we also come with baggage. We didn't even have like a preparation, like the PMCC, yes. We didn't have that before. So we are coming very green. And so it's almost like I don't get why he's doing what he's doing. And so for me, then I'm going to act. What you give me, it's what you're going to get.
Yes.
You get. And so for us, I feel like we have had to grow together. I keep saying we raised each other. We were babies. We raised ourselves with our sons.
Marriage.
And also a lot we have had to learn together.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I always knew what submission was. I wouldn't even call myself submissive that time.
Yeah.
But over the years, God again, He's very merciful. He's willing to teach us. Holy Spirit is your helper.
Yeah.
And for me, I would say since 2020, that's 5 years. That's when I would say God really, 2020 was my changing year. Like even my Christianity, I had to rededicate my life to Christ. I had to now start being yielded to Holy Spirit to teach me, to guide me, to help me.
Yeah.
And I have seen a big change because the woman I am right now, I credit it first to God because no matter how many examples you have, if you don't have God in you, it's very hard to represent Christ to your spouse when you don't have that Christ in you. And so since 2020, it's where God really dealt with me, showed me, like showed the areas that I was not like being Christ-like, you know, that transformation journey. And now it just didn't happen in my life and other people, it also happened. Like my husband will always be the first beneficiary when I am working on myself and when God is working on me. And so submission to me, it looks like this. Sam is my friend. And beyond anything, I don't want to hurt him.
Yes.
Like I want to be his friend. And if I'm your friend, Rodah, I wouldn't do anything to hurt you intentionally.
Yes.
So for me, submission looks like we can sit and agree. We can agree sometimes to disagree. And it's okay. And also knowing that this is someone I want to do life with. What does God call submission to be? It's not like I'm lesser than him.
Yeah.
But it's like accepting also his authority as my husband because Christ has entrusted him to be the head over me.
Yes.
And so I have to trust his leading because he's also being led by Christ first.
Oh, yes.
And so I think I was struggling before because he was not yielded to Christ. In as much as, yes, we are born again we say it.
So it's easier to submit to someone
When
who is
someone is
yielded.
submitted to God. Like way easier. Because then he won't come and tell me, mwanaume ni iku. You get? Ama he won't do things that are not Christ-like.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, he might not tick all the boxes all the time. But because now I know, and I know that he's also human and I'm human,
Yes.
I'm able to extend that grace that here, babe might not have gotten it, but it hasn't changed who Sam is.
Yeah.
He's not defined by his conditions and his shortcomings. And so for me, I feel like if a man is submitted to Christ, it's way easier for a woman
because
to
Christ
submit.
is the one who says submit.
Yes.
So you can't demand submission.
When you're not
You're
submitted.
not even connected to the one who said.
Yeah. And you will find there's also
It
a
makes
lot
sense,
of conflict. And now it's like more of disrespect.
Oh,
so
yeah.
why should I respect you if you're not respecting me? You get?
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like there's that mucho, if you're good and you're listening to God in your leadership, then it makes it so easy for a woman to submit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also you're loving as Christ. But now, that I would say it was in the beginning, now 2020 coming along. But right now, I'll submit even if Sam is not loving me.
Yeah.
Because I'm called to submit. Because there's also the maturity as a believer, where now I'm not more wanting to please Sam. I want to please God the Father. And so, if God says I submit, I might fail a time or two, but I'll call myself back. Holy Spirit, ataniambia, by the way, hapo,
Yes.
that's not submission. And so for me, I think it's a work in progress, but we have progressed so much.
Wow.
So much. Nowadays, I'm
And
a
that
baby
is the
girl.
goal. You're a
nowadays
baby
me, I'm
girl.
I don't do heavy duties. You're the head, you're the leader. Take the wheel.
How easy is it to love a woman? This one.
This my woman.
Hey, you're called to love this
Not
one.
a woman.
Hey.
Because I don't even know how to love other women. I only love.
Aww. Guys, stop this show and the home.
We need a room.
I will agree with V that it was never easy again. For us to go to therapy, which was a part of a therapy, the PMCC, is because we didn't know how to love. I didn't know how to love her.
Yeah.
I didn't understand her her cholericness, because cholerics tend to want things done their way. And it's another conflict when you're the man and you have a woman who wants things to go their way, and you don't understand why they are the way they are. So for me, loving V became also easier with time when I started understanding, because even those moments, anytime there is no submission, clear submission, whether I'm the one not getting it directly from God, I will view it as defiance.
Wow.
Right? She doesn't see my position as a man in this house, things like that. However, when you think about, as I mature also, I started noticing that it is loving my wife in spite and despite of.
Wow.
So it's just knowing that it doesn't matter what it is, and the Bible says that do not let the sun go down before you resolve an issue. And that anger, once you deal with your anger, it's so easy to love your wife. So even things that I've made intentional is that even when we have domain, I tell her, babe, I love you, even when I don't feel like. And I've noticed just saying that, she may not say I love you too, but it's not her job
but
to
it does something to your
Yes, it doesn't. She's not told to love me. The Bible does not say love your husband. So if she doesn't say I love you too, I'm like, wow, as long as she submits, she's obeying. So I'm like, I love you, and I'll be like, najua anyway amesubmit, bora na submit, bora nikimwambia jump anauliza how high. That's no submission.
Nataka ile video.
So for me, when I understand that Christ loves, that the model, every model of a man just goes back to Christ as a leader, because and I think that's why God put the man at a point where everything that we are doing is just related to him, because once I understand that Christ loves me despite and in spite of, then I'm like, who am I to not love my wife even when she scolds me over not closing the cupboards, when she scolds me of not remembering to take the garbage out
and putting socks down.
Yes, niliacha.
Tumesema
vitu zingine.
Niwe umepeana example.
But you have to kusema socks.
Hey guys.
So anyway, that's the thing. Like, you have to learn to love my wife, and even when I don't feel like. And I think that's the way it is even for submission. Even when you don't feel like. That's what God, because God will love us even when we don't even deserve to be loved.
Wow. Hey, we have to end.
And before even we finish, and it's not something new I'm telling him. I feel like as a girl and as a woman, I have experienced Christ's love through some inhuman form.
Wow.
And it's not something new I'm telling him. Because even in the most unlovable parts of my life, some loves me. You get, and so also you're loving, it's what makes you, when there's now hizo dome tunaongelea ama there's an issue, you're able to, because you know that someone's heart. Like, I know Sam's heart. Yes, he might hurt me, but I know his heart. And so so like I can say in my marriage I have experienced Christ's love through my husband.
Wow. That's so powerful. Very powerful. Oh, good job, Sam. We need more husbands like you in the world. And good job to you too.
Thank you.
We need more wives like you. And thank you for coming. See?
Thank you.
Really?
You tunadid kwenda to breathe it
I know. That was a powerful one. Thank you so much for sharing your story and the lessons. And I'm personally challenged. Like, wow. You guys, thank you for honoring God. And he says in his word, when we honor him, he will honor us. And yes, we are experiencing that honor. He's honoring you already. Thank you so much for watching as well. We'll see you on the next one. Wacha niendelee kuwasikiza wakiambiana vitu vizuri vizuri.